Hello, I'm Dr. Manish Gupta. This CD I have made, ENT Made Simple, is about the various instruments we use, the history and examination in ENT, the diagnostic and surgical videos it carry, and there are miscellaneous topics like differences, incisions, signs, syndromes, spaces, and classification TNM, which we usually follow and often ask in ENT examination. It is both useful for undergraduates and postgraduates. You may contact the given email ID for further queries. This is an example I had given for examination of an history and examination of the year. Like chief complaints should be given in chronological order, and history, what we often ask for discharge is like the smell, color, consistency, and the quantity, and whether it is active, inactive, or quiescent, and the various points which we have to cover during the history. The DVD also carries detailed history and examination of both ear, nose, larynx, oral cavity, oropharynx, salivary glands, and general physical examination. Then there is a section of measurements where we had shown the external aortic canal, tympanic membrane, and middle ear, all points which we often forget during exam, and this is for quick revision. Similar measurements are given full ear, nose, larynx, pharynx, trachea, esophagus. Then the gradings, which we again often asked in Viva, and if you write it in theory you get good marks, is adenoid enlargement, and both radiological or endoscopic. And similarly these gradings are being given for tonsil, deviated nasal septum, enterocornal polyp, ethmoidal polyp, pars tensor retraction or retraction of a pars flaccida. Then there is a grading for cholesteatoma, which is both radiological and clinical. Then there is a rhinosinusitis grading, and grading for goiter and tuberculous lymphadenopathy. Then it also carries various differences. 22 tables of various ENT pathologies are listed and compared with each other, and 11 out of 22 tables are listed below, like furunculosis and acute mastoiditis, cochlear lesion and retrocochlear lesion, conductive or sensorineural deafness, safe or unsafe type of otitis media, central or peripheral vertigo, septoplasty and SMR procedure, indirect or direct laryngoscopy, difference between tracheostomy in child and adult, juvenile papilloma or an adult onset papilloma, adenoid tonsil, paralyzed and fixed cord. Then there are various signs which have been listed in the DVD, and 8 out of 38 total are been listed below, just to set an example or a sample. Hammond sign, Hirschsprung sign, lighthouse sign, limit sign. These are again very often asked questions in your Viva, and this DVD will be helpful for preparing for the exam. Similarly, it carries various syndromes which have been listed, and at one place you can in one go revise all these, like Costans, Eagles, Frays, and various TNM classifications listed are lip, oral cavity, nasopharynx, oropharynx, for malignancies of hypopharynx, larynx, also supraglottis, glottis, subglottis, nasal cavity, ethmoid, maxillary sinus, major salivary gland, thyroid. The videos it carries a diagnostic nasal endoscopy, all the passes showing laryngoscopy, autoendoscopy. Surgical videos again very helpful for MBBS graduates when we ask the procedures: septoplasty, tonsillectomy, tympanoplasty, and FES. Then there is a section for instruments, outpatient instruments, like this is in a head mirror, and complete detail about it. What we again ask is its focal length, the type of mirror, how it is to be worn, and light focus. Then the section on ear surgical instruments, like here we are showing a picture of cuff forceps, both zoomed out at the end, zoomed in the end, and the name and uses. Section of nasal instruments, like here it is showing a picture of an Bracasli forceps, all the angles, and zoomed in the tip and the various uses. Then same for the surgical laryngeal instruments. And here you are showing a tracheal dilator, both open and closed posture, and the uses.